Hey guys, so in the past week, a couple of stories have come out. One is Gallup has said that about 70% of the American workforce um, are either not engaged at work, either they're just kind of going through the motions, they don't care, they're just there to collect the paycheck and the benefits and get on get on home, or they're actively disengaged, actively disengaged, and around 30% of the American workforce actually like going to work and enjoy their jobs, but they're in the minority, which isn't really surprising. Most people don't like going to work. I don't know why Gallup really had to do a poll on that. I think, really people don't care to be at their job. But they have said that over the years, people have slowly, there's been this decline in people who have been engaged at work. There's been a steady decline in that. And I'm going to get to that in a second. Also, a second news report came out recently saying that many Americans living paycheck to paycheck, that's not a surprise to many of you, about a quarter of the population don't have a sufficient savings account for anything. Major problem right there. And I don't really have any correct answers for this. I'm just giving out, I guess you could say, speculations, the way I see it, from what I've been hearing from many people who are involved in the workforce, and it may explain why the majority of the American workforce does not care to be at work, and why many people are working paycheck to paycheck. First, let's start off with when you're at your job, there's a high level, many of these corporations especially, high level of micromanagement. So to do basic things at your work, you've got to get some kind of approval or give direction 2 or 3 steps up the food chain and telling the little people what to do. I mean, literally, like, this is how you take out, the trash. This is how we do it. This is what needs to be done. This is how, you file this kind of paper. It's just the micromanagement, which then makes people feel, the employees, grown adults, it makes them feel like they're in kindergarten, being treated as if they're stupid. And so there's that. There's no creativity, total lack of creativity, because now everything is PC. Everything is run by people you never even talk to or even see. Everything is run, 2 or 3 steps up the ladder, and you don't really get to make decisions. Hell, even the people who are supposedly in charge of you, who are the one step up, they don't get to make much decisions either. So there's that. There is, with the advertising world, for many decades now, we've seen people always being advertised like, this is the kind of house you need at this time. Right now, this is the new thing. This is the kind of car you need to have. This is the kind of house you should be raising your family in. This is the latest piece of technology that you should possess. This is the latest tablet, iPod, cell phone, video game, appliance for your kitchen. Hell, stuff like, boats, RVs, you name it. Here's some recreational stuff you need. This is the kind of hobbies you should take up because this is the in thing. This is what the in crowd is into. So we have this advertised lifestyle, and people who can't really financially afford any of this, they want it anyway because they want to fit in or they want to show off. So there's this, what I call this fake wealth is what I call it. It's fake wealth. Many people wanting to be having this certain type of lifestyle in the country. And I know that sounds really vague. Like, what do you mean? I mean, people want to look like they're living some kind of grandeur lifestyle when in reality they don't have the money to back it up. I was biking recently through one of these neighborhoods just off to, 2 blocks down. It's more of just kind of a middle to lower middle class neighborhood. The houses, some of these houses look like complete shithole dumps. But next to them, you'll see really nice cars. I mean, very expensive looking vehicles. And I'm like, well, that's where the priorities are at. So some people don't really care what the house they live in, but they want to show off with a car. They want to show off maybe with an iPhone or, There's different ways of doing it with this whole fake wealth culture. It's almost like a cultural collapse. People just not having their priorities straight. You know, we always talk about a financial or economic collapse. Hell, pair that up with a cultural collapse. People just faking to be rich. People want to be like who they see on TV, on these stupid reality shows on, you know, E Network or Bravo. You know, the ones usually women just sit around and watch. Not all women. I'm not being sexist here. I'm just saying there's certain women that watch that and they want to emulate these kind of lifestyles, and you know they can't emulate the lifestyle of some multimillionaire up in Beverly Hills. You can't do that. So I don't know. I feel like I'm just kind of ranting here. Does any of this make sense to you guys? Because this whole idea of fake wealth and people wanting to just live these grand lives when they don't have anything to back it up with, but they just want to impress others. Does this make sense to you? I hope it's just not another late night rant where I'm just bumbling along and being vague. So give me your thoughts. So on the issue of the majority of Americans not caring to be at work, many Americans living paycheck to paycheck, do you think I'm right when I say micromanagement, I have something to do with it? Corporations treating their employees more at the bottom chain like idiots, like this is how you do things, like this is how you tie your shoes kind of thing. People having to be PC at work so you don't offend anybody. Things not being as fun as they used to. Does that make sense to you guys? And then also the advertised fake life that you are given. Like, this is what you need to be. You know what? I may be much younger than the majority of my audience. I mean, I've looked at the analytics of my subscribers. Most of you are older than I am. I'm only 20 years old. Some people even say I'm like 16, 17 years old. No, I'm not. But if there's one thing I can say to all of you guys, and that is just don't care what other people think. As soon as you stop caring what other people think, the magic starts to happen. You start to find the real stuff you want to get into. You want to find real opportunities. You start to expand your horizons, and you start to push away what's advertised to you and what you should have and what kind of life you need to be living. As soon as you get rid of all that bull and you start just being yourself and doing things that you want to do and thinking outside the box, that's where the magic happens. Okay? Or else you will never feel like you're getting anywhere if you just want to follow the crowd and feel comfortable. So that's just advice coming from a kid. So, you know, I may be young and I still have a lot to learn and I still have a lot to do, a lot to experience. So, yeah, leave me your thoughts.